Alrighty everybody, welcome to the video here today. So, obviously Win News, the Today Show, we got, you know, Carl Stefanovic, absolute fucking sick cunt he is, don't know who the other bitch is, on the news, and they're talking about Fortnite once again. So, we're gonna sit back, relax, we're gonna have a look at it, we're gonna see what they've got to say, because honestly, last time, you know, this whole thing happened, Tracy Grimshaw ended up blocking me on Twitter and a lot of other gamers, and she was pretty fucking fed up with it, to be honest. And I'm fed up with it, to be honest. The fact that they're painting gamers in a fucking negative way, because we're not all that negative. You know, I think gaming's a very good thing in moderation. So we're going to sit down here, we're going to deconstruct everything, and yeah, we're going to go from here and just have a look at this news article here. So we're going to jump right on into it. But before we watch that, let's just give you guys some backstory here. So, a shocked mother in the United Kingdom has issued a warning about online video games after witnessing another player attempting to communicate inappropriate messages to her son, Melissa Burns, who lives in Birkenhead in the England's northwest. So they've essentially just doxed her. They've given out her real name and the general area that she lives in. Fucking stupid. Really fucking stupid. Don't know why that needs to be publicised, but okay. Posted a video of her son playing the popular game Fortnite to a local Crime Watch Facebook group. Everyone please check their child's games. Always playing creative on Fortnite, and this person is writing inappropriate things, the post said. So, she hasn't said anything negative about the game here, the mother. She's just said, look, you know, my son went into creative, and just make sure, because it says please sex. I think that's fucking hilarious, personally. That tickles me a bit. It does, but I've got a fucked sense of humour. So, Mum wasn't too impressed, needless to say. I'm not really too impressed. That looks like a cheap Chinese brand. It is, it's a Technica. So, you know, just cheap stuff that her son's playing on. She's not really too into gaming, obviously, for a kid. She's not really supporting a kid all that well. But, might be a child messaging around, but could be a grown person, which they find sick, which I mean, I get it. I get why she's concerned about it. It's fair enough. Right. In the vision, the character being controlled by Mrs. Burns' son can be seen moving alongside another user before the words please sex appear on a board in the game. Another recording taken from the game by the mother shows the anonymous user appearing to place the words wet and sex, something she hasn't been or had in a very long time from how things are panning out here from the looks of it, and moving their character to gesture towards Mrs. Burns' son. Mrs. Burns, who said in the post that she watches her son whenever he plays the game, confirmed she had blocked the user on the platform. So she watches him play, just block and move on. It's just like, you know, it's the internet, you know, you can't really escape that kind of stuff. It's creative mode as well, like realistically, you can't really stop people from doing that. If you give people the freedom to do whatever they want, there's going to be a couple of fucking sick people out there who are going to do some, you know, stupid shit. Anyway, so, like, the mum warning to others about thereafter, blah, 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 not really important. And then they just go on to say, like, the latest gaming craze Fortnite boasts more than 46 million users worldwide, many of them younger players under the recommended age usage of 15, and pits people against each other in a running island battle format. I'm glad that they haven't, like, tried to be like, it's kill or be killed, as fucking A Current Affair said before.
Fortnite is a phenomenon, a game set in a virtual world in which the rule is kill or be killed.
You can't really give them too much hate here because they're, like, obviously just voicing their concerns, but they're not trying to, like, bash on the game too much. That's in the article, though. So, obviously, so here's the question. Is Fortnite bad for kids? We're going to jump in and we're going to find on out right now.
Even if you haven't heard of a game called Fortnite, chances are your children have, or maybe your grandchildren are playing it.
Okay, so first things first, that's bang. Right on the mark, they've hit their age demographic there. They're like, even if you haven't heard of Fortnite, your kids have or your grandchildren have. So that means the only people that they're trying to speak to in this article is parents, concerned parents. That's it. Doesn't matter to somebody like me or, you know, anybody who plays games. They're irrelevant in this conversation. It's not an open-ended conversation. That's their first fuck up here. It's like, nope, we're going to target this to fucking parents, and yeah, you've got to be concerned about it, essentially. Anyways, let's hear them out and let's see what they've got to say.
It's the biggest game in the world right now, and it's driving families absolutely crazy.
It's free.
Oh, that was a headshot. Oh my god.
It's addictive. And it's wildly popular. Tens of millions of people are playing Fortnite, from kids to celebrities, even the rapper Drake.
Hi, Drake.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So they've brought up like footage of Ninja and his wife there, as well as they had, I believe it was Dakota's on screen just before. I don't actually think that they would have got permission to use those clips, which is just fucking sickening, honestly, that they can steal something like that, make profit off it, mind you, and, you know, like, there's nothing that can really be done about this. This was actually done, earlier as well. I did see this happen to, Forbes. If you guys don't know him, you should check him out. He's an insane player. But his footage was stolen as well, and was posted on the news to show, how bad Fortnite was back in the massacre that happened in New Zealand.
Fascinated with guns and violent video games. He reportedly trained for the mosque attacks by playing the highly popular game Fortnite.
What? The right. After that one?
Obviously, they blurred his name out in that clip, but, like, to be able to tie another content creator's, you know, image to the news and portray that in a negative light, because people can see that. They're like, oh, there's this guy, it says Ninja on the screen, and they're telling us about Fortnite. So, they like, parents are instantly not gonna like this fucking dude because of that. You know, it's stupid, and it just shouldn't be a fucking thing. Anyways, let's continue to jump into it.
The objective? 100 people fight strangers to the death, live and online. A round lasts up to 20 minutes, and you can't pause it.
And you can't pause it! Fucking... See, this is further fucking proof that, like, they're really getting at the age demographic. Like, you can't pause it! Because, like, let's be real, no fucking old person knows you can pause video games. Like, you can fucking not pause video games online. They think you can just press the pause button and it's fucking done like that. Nope, not true. If you've got sick cunt parents and they're like, oh, no, I understand you can't pause it, fair enough. That's fucking awesome. My parents, old as fuck, don't understand it. And most people's parents are like that, so I'm assuming that's why they've included that in there. But anyways, that's just me fucking rambling.
This week, a 9-year-old made headlines for wetting herself in bed rather than leaving the game. Your kids can also chat to their opponents online. Okay,
so this 9-year-old has wet themselves because they wouldn't leave the game. Now, look, that's fucked. That's fucked. 9 years old, you know? I pissed my pants once, I'll happily admit it. I pissed my pants when playing Crash Nitro Kart on the PS2. I got the PS2, and I sat there until I pissed my pants because I refused to get off the game. I was 4 years old. Not 9! There's a massive difference. And even then at 4, that's a bit... like, sheesh. But, like, at 9, okay, that's a problem. That's on you as a parent for not just turning the fucking thing off and making your kid get up and go to the toilet. Like, you know... That's all there is to it, obviously. And then obviously I've gone on to say here that you can talk to other players. That's obviously a common thing, you know, that's always going to be a thing. But we'll see what they say about it.
They can play on nearly any device, computers, consoles and iPhones. It's the most downloaded game in the world, and it's got parents in a frenzy trying to protect their kids and control their addiction.
Well, joining us now with advice every family needs to hear.
This will be great.
Our psychologist Sandy Ray and our tech expert Charlie Brown. Good morning.
Tech expert Charlie Brown, more like biggest fucking virgin. Look at the cunt. My fucking God. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, let's hear what he's got to say.
Good morning, Carl.
Morning, guys.
Hi, Georgie.
Morning to you both. Charlie, we've got Harry and Sam. Harry and Sam, yep, both playing Fortnite here this morning.
Yeah,
and
they're doing well too.
Look at it, they're incredibly good at it.
No, they're fucking not. They're mobile players. Mobile players are fucking bots. I've just pissed so many fucking people off. But, like, seriously, mobile players are bots. Let's get these fucking kids' 90s up, huh? Get them up on the fucking screen. I want to see what they're all about, huh? They're fucking looking down there, playing on mobile. Look, the cunt's like fucking... He's not even playing Claw. What's he fucking doing? Nah. And they're smiling and looking at the kids like, look at how good that... Mate, they're fucking bins. I guarantee it. They're the cunts I get matched up with when I do fucking squad fill. You get the biggest fucking bots ever. That's what those kids are. I don't mean to fucking hate on the kids, but I'm just saying, they're not fucking good. Don't fucking praise them. I'm shit house, and I'll accept it. But those cunts are even shitter than I am. I fucking guarantee it.
Sonic is building momentum.
This is something that so many parents are grappling with it at the moment. So just explain for parents what they need to know about this game.
Well, this is
Fucking look, the cunt's not even looking at the fucking game anymore. He's like looking off into the fucking stars and shit. Fucking tell me he's good. Fuck off. What a load of shit. Anyways, I'll let this cunt speak.
Fortnite, and they're playing what's called Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, this is the multiplayer game where up to 100 people play together, and you can play from an iPhone or an iPad or a PC or a PlayStation or an Xbox. And when you're playing, the reason it's so addictive is the kids are all playing against each other wherever they are, whatever device they're on. And games can go for 20 minutes or half an hour or 2 hours. There's a bit of shoot.
They don't go for fucking 2 hours. What's this cunt on about? Like, I play scrims all the time. They go for half an hour max. 2 hours. Fucking, what was he? Tech expert? I don't fucking think so, mate.
Doing a bit of puzzle solving, a bit of building. If you're getting it on an iPad, if you're getting it on an iPhone, it's free to download and play. So this game has just gone globally.
Why is it addictive?
Gangbusters. Because kids love a little bit of shooting. They love to build things. We know Lego's popular. They also love problem solving. And they've put it all together into a game where you've got these cartoon characters essentially running around. The kids can also join their mates in the game as well.
To be fair, I think he's defending it in a pretty good way.
Park, if it's raining, for example, they can join the virtual world and be talking to their mates.
But what's the aim of the game?
Well, you want to be the last man standing at the end of it.
So what's the aim of the game?
Look at that! 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 That's fantastic. Yeah, so what's the aim of the game? Yeah, so what's the aim of the game? She's baiting him. He's trying, like, this guy, I gotta give him props, because he's like, yeah, there's like problem solving and puzzles and stuff. You know, he's trying to, like, not shit on the game, clearly. And she's like, yeah, but what's the aim of the game? What's the aim of the game? She's really like, come on, give us the juice, mate. Come on, give us the juice we fucking need to take this game down. That is classic mainstream media 101. We've got Carl obviously just chilling in the fucking, he's just like, yep, look at me. I love Carl Stefanovic, absolute sick cunt. He really is. Got on the news drunk. What a champion. You can hear he's not talking. He's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm just here to do my job. What a mad cunt. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's fucking see where this bait that she's essentially just fucking trying to reel in. Let's see where it goes.
Kill all the other players in the game.
Ah, there it is.
Compare, Sandy, to a game of footy with your mates.
How does that compare to a game of footy with your mates? Alright, now here's the fucking thing, right? Because you're killing somebody. It's a fucking virtual thing. You're not actually killing somebody. Like, I'm like a small dude, right? Like, I'm skinny as fuck. I got a bit of a gut on me, but I'm a fairly skinny dude. I never played football throughout school. I always played, like, video games and shit. I would fucking die if I went out on that field. You have no chance of getting injured playing a video game unless you play claw like an idiot and you end up with arthritis. Like, you play football, you can end up with a fucking broken neck. Like, it can happen. Like, realistically, playing video games is a safer thing. Physically, anyways. Mentally, maybe not. It really depends. But that comes down to you as a parent. Anyways, let's continue, because they're laughing it off. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Look, there's unequivocal research about the impact of these sorts of games. There's over 130 evidence-based pieces of research that tell us that violent games like this increase aggressiveness, increase angry thoughts, increase aggressive behaviour. So we can either choose to dismiss this sort of research or take it on board as parents and say, this is what the scientific community is telling us.
Okay, now before I let her continue, I'm just going to say this. Is that no different with football? Because I don't know if anybody can relate to this. And comment down below. Like, legitimately, like, pause the video and comment down below. Because I really want to get your feedback on this. But I've noticed that every rugby league player, or at least people who play football in those sports, are usually more aggressive people, right? Like you see all like the boys at school who play rugby and shit, they're usually pretty aggressive people. How many rugby league players do you see sexually assaulting girls, like obviously like bashing girls and like, you know, just getting caught doing drugs and all this super fucking bad shit? How often do you hear of an esports player doing that? Not very often, because they don't come out of their fucking cave because they live on the game 24/7. Massive difference between the two. Massive difference between the two. Gaming doesn't lead to people being violent. I get mad at games. Everybody gets mad at games. You know, and that's completely normal. But I think that that's just, you know, you're just getting a little bit angry, and then that comes down to you as a parent, once again. That's what this all really stems down to. But again, like, football, like, it does. Like, rugby players are legitimately super aggressive people. It's just how it is. To say that, like, violent video games are aggressive as well to the same extent, bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
That this is really something that we need to be very mindful of, and we really need to guard our children's brains. We're not saying don't do it at all, but we're saying the research is very much telling us, and there's over 116 research reports telling us that it affects the structure and performance of the brain as well. So
this is not bad. So Sam and Ari are playing it this morning. This is not bad for them, is it?
Look, it's not bad for them so long as it's monitored, you know, would be my advice. No one's saying for 1 second, don't play
Okay,
it.
so 40 million people are playing this game now.
More
at least.
than.
So 100 million.
Okay, so I like Carl here because he's actually like defending the game. I just want to point that out because I think that's a really good thing that he's doing. Like in moderation, it's completely fine. Like I would never, as a parent, sit my kid down on the game for fucking 10 hours a day. That's stupid. And that's what they're kind of trying to warn parents from. They're like, don't do that. But then, is that not just common fucking sense to not dump your kid on a fucking game for 10 hours? Because they're going to get addicted to it and they're going to be fucking stupid. Because they're not keeping their brain stimulated for, you know, long periods of time with various different things. That's just fucking common knowledge 101.
And maybe 100 million, 200 million, whatever it is, and they're going to keep playing it.
Yep.
So no matter what age they are, there are going to be kids in this country and every country around the world who aren't supervised. So what damage is it going to do?
So what they talk about and what it actually affects is the pleasure centres of the brain in the front lobe of the brain. So we really need to be mindful that this is actually impacting on our behaviour. It decreases empathy. What it's actually doing, as Charlie rightly said, its aim is to kill, hurt, maim. That's the goal.
But they're cartoon characters, they're caricatures, and we don't see blood, Sandy. So many parents are saying it's okay because we're not seeing the blood and guts.
That's a complete cop-out, and I would completely rebut that argument.
Shut up, cunt. Shut up. Listen to it. That's a fucking cop-out. Like, righto. Should we just fucking ban cartoons then? Like, oh my god, man. I guarantee you, this fucking bitch, like, all of them on the fucking set right now, grew up on, like, cartoons like fucking Tom and Jerry and shit. That's got violence in it. Should we just fucking ban that show? Like, oh. Like, listen to her. My god, imagine being that ignorant to something. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Just because they're playing this game.
No, it's a whole package. What we do know, though, is children who are exposed to it for a long period of time, unsupervised, as a cheap babysitting exercise. And I think parents really need to
That babysitting comment is true.
You know,
100%.
We all need babysitting times where we put our children in front of the TV. But what children really want is parents to be connected to their children. So instead of saying, I'm going to babysit my child through a game, actually give them real life opportunity to interact with parents and their friends.
How do you know how much time is enough time for your child when every child is different?
That's true, and that's a really good point. I think what we've got to have as a rule of thumb is about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, even though most kids would balk at that, but 20 to 30 minutes is the time. And I was going to just quickly say that, you know, one of the common arguments is other people, all my friends are doing it. And I have a really easy rebuttal to that. And the thing that parents need to be mindful of is saying, it's not what we do in our family. It's not the rules that we have in our family.
Boy, it's hard.
And not be afraid to step up as a parent and say, it's not how we run our family.
Charlie, how do we...
Okay, now I think that's really stupid, right? Because, like, 20 to 30 minutes is a bit fucking light on gaming. I think 2 hours is, like, a good time. I think, you know, 4 hours is a bit like, whoa. That's probably a bit overmuch. For like, younger child, mind you, because that's the perspective they're talking about. I think, like, 2 hours is fine. Or even an hour is fine. But, like, 20 minutes to half an hour is just... Yeah, no, it's not. They also don't really talk about how much that these kids, at least I haven't got to it yet, I hope they do pick up on it, is how much that kids do obviously get picked on for this kind of stuff. Because, you know, I know kids, just like that, you know, that aren't allowed to play games for long periods of time. They're only allowed to play like 20, 30 minutes, maybe once a week. And they will go to school and they get picked on by other kids and they can't relate to their friends because they're like, you know, I'm kind of out of this circle. I can't relate because I don't play this game. Or if I do, I don't play it long enough to kind of experience it like other kids experience it. And obviously some kids are going to play for 10 hours a day. Some kids are going to play for 10 minutes. That's just going to happen. It's always going to happen. But it really does. Like, they talk about aggressive behavior and stuff and then they like blame it on the video games. But realistically, you know, it's like... The kids feel like an outsider if they're not playing these games, and that's just a fact that people need to be very aware of as well. It doesn't mean you should feed into the addiction and make them play it 10 hours a day, absolutely not. But whatever. Again, tangent. Let's just continue.
Regulate it.
Download it onto your iPad, play it yourself.
You encourage parents to play it, don't
So
you?
they at least know what the content is. Because parents who are showing me concerns about it, a lot of them haven't even played the game before at all. Download it and play it. First thing you're going to see is what the content actually is that you would be exposing your child to. Second thing you'll see the kind of things that they're saying in the message bar on the side of the screen. You'll also be able to see how you can go turn that message bar off, so kids can't see the messages from other players. And you can also see the parental controls that are built into the game so that swear words, for example, aren't going to pop up on that message bar as well. By learning a little bit about the content your kids want to consume, you will be much less concerned about it because you'll know what it actually is, not what you're fearing it is.
Okay, it's a really good point. I mean, I'm looking at this game now for the first time, and I just want to play it. So you're saying go out there, play it, and learn for yourself what not to do. And that's the only way you can control. Is there any way of control, apart from pulling the device out of your kid's hand and putting it away? You know, are there any other ways of control?
Well, at the end of the day, you're the parent, right? So if you don't want your kids to play
I love this
the
guy.
game,
He's fantastic.
Don't play the game. And Sandy and I were talking before. This is where boundaries start in a family. So set the boundaries. But if you're a parent, it's okay for you not to be okay with this content.
This is the point. If this game is so bad, if this game is so addictive and it's so detrimental to the lives of our children, then why is it available? Why shouldn't it be banned?
It's cool because there's nothing wrong with the game for who it's actually intended to play it. And the reason this game has a...
Therein lies the point for who is intended to play
But this game, the classification of this game is not restrictive to a particular age. There is a guide to the age, which is teenagers, but it's not restricted to it because of the content in the game. So because of that, you as a parent need to step up and...
Okay, now I just want to, before he finishes his little tangent, I just want to point out something because, like, there's a guideline, right? Like, the game's like rated M. The game's rated M because of the zombies and shit. That's the first thing, right? The actual battle royale mode, legitimately, there's no blood. There's guns, obviously, but like, there's no blood or anything bad in that, or guts. And I get that the chick said it was a cop out earlier. But legitimately, like, this game, in terms of shooting games, is about as innocent as it's possibly going to get. It really is. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing really violent. The characters don't even fucking talk. For fuck's sake. Like, you're never going to hear a swear word in this game or anything inappropriate like that. There's going to be no sexual references. It's legitimately just... It's like paintball. It's legitimately like paintball. You could legitimately look at it like that. It's no different. Would you bring your kid to paintball? Probably not, because they're going to get fucking hurt. But, like... It's, you know, you can get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's completely harmless. It really is. And, you know, and if the kid wants to go fucking do something drastic, like shoot up a school because he played fucking Fortnite, I'm sorry, but your kid's fucked in the head. That's all there is to it. It's not the video game's fault. It's fucking his fault for being fucked in the head. Some people are just wired wrong, and that's all there is to it.
And you need to say, you know what, I understand what my kids are consuming here, and I'm either okay or I'm not okay.
And we have been flooded with emails and messages about this. Parents are absolutely tearing their hair out. And there are stories, Sandy, of kids getting up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to get online and play with their friends. I mean, it's a big issue for a lot of parents.
And the recommended age is really 15 plus. And why is that? Because...
Now, look, I'm just saying, like, honestly, like, I get it. 100% get it. Kid wakes up at 2, 3 in the morning. It's not okay, you know? Like, if I'm being honest, like, what would happen to me is, like, that door that I'm pointing at, my dad would bust through that fucking thing. He'd grab a belt. I don't have a belt. Let's pretend that this is a fucking belt for all intensive purposes. And I'm getting fucking belted. Like, I'm copping it. I'm like, Dad, no, fucking bang, cunt. Like, you know, it is a domestic violence, it is a domestic here. Domestic violence inbound. Be advised. But... You know, and is that bad parenting? Yeah and no. I mean, yes and no. It's a grey area. But, like, you know, like, discipline your fucking kids if they're doing that shit. Obviously, take the PlayStation away for a week. Like, you know, there is ways to stop your kids from doing that stuff. If they learn, oh shit, I can't do that, I'll get in deep shit, they won't fucking do it. Pretty simple. Not just, my kid woke up at 3 AM, this game's the devil. No, fucking, look. Solve the problem. I get that parents haven't been to school in a while, but fuck, problem solving. You do it at work too. It's not that hard if you put your fucking, you know, mind to it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, there's 1 minute left of this. Let's look into it and see what they've got to say as well.
We know the cognitive format of the brain is different at 15. People can make decisions, their planning, the executive thinking skills are very different at 15. Not at 8 and 7 and 6 years of age to play these sorts of games.
So ideally,
that's right. I thought with my dick at 15, didn't it, eh?
Ideally, this is too young. You know, and the Royal Commission to Family Violence was very clear about early intervention. We know that mothers especially need to train and support their young boys so they don't grow up into aggressive, unwieldy, treat women with disrespect men.
Lacking empathy.
Lacking empathy. So, you know, we really need to take on board that early intervention and monitoring is something that parents really need to embrace.
Sam, are you going to stop playing that game? What about we go kick the footy outside?
Have you had enough?
Oh, good man. Want to go kick the footy? Harry, you want to go kick the footy?
No.
Now they're laughing about it. That's good.
Great insight. Really good to talk.
Final thoughts. Let's talk about my final thoughts on all that. Okay, so essentially, like, you know, I get that, like, that was a pretty fair article. They didn't really rip into it too much. The news reporter, like the lady, both ladies, were very... just, like, they were baiting. They were really baiting to, like, kind of bring this game down. So you had the first chick who was, like, obviously the news reporter. She really baited for that comment earlier. And then you had the other one, and she's like, well, research proves this, and rah, rah, rah. But, you know, and they're like, oh, we've had 116 reports. You've got 116 reports out of, what, 6-7 billion people in the world? Like, I don't... unless those reports are being ran on, like, hundreds of thousands of kids, you don't really have a good pool to pick from, let's be real. So I think that, obviously, it's a very open-ended argument, and they're not trying to make this open-ended at all. They're really not. And I think that that's a damn shame. You know, obviously, I feel as if they did a better job here instead of Tracy Grimshaw. She just ripped on it, and I hate that bitch. I'll be real with you, man. But, you know, that's, like, all I've got to say is just, it comes down to parenting, man. That's all it really comes down to. I've been recording for 26 minutes. Fucking Christ, this is going to be a long video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to slap a like on it and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Obviously, you know, I've articulated my thoughts in there, and it's been a bit of a ramble, but I hope you could understand it. Anyways, guys, that's going to conclude me for tonight. I'm going to go edit this video, and I'll see you guys in another video.